I did like this, though. 30% of the rosters ranked in the top 25 in the world. They still own the top 5 in the world. Top 5 in the world. Weekly shows will be better. We're not number 2. We're the co-leader. Let's break this down. 30% of the roster is ranked in the top 25 in the world.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
It is. It's good, but you're far behind the UFC as far as depth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have certain people that can absolutely, and we've said this forever, they can absolutely, fight with anybody in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And again, really it's, who do you match them against? That's going to kind of tell you who's going to win, to a point. But the top, you're going to have to look and say overall that, who's ever doing the ranking, who do they have at number 1? They got Patchy Mix and Sean O'Malley at 135, you said. Sean O'Malley is what? The champ.
Yeah.
Not one from another promotion is the champ. It's all the UFCs.
I think Johnny Eblen might be the champ.
Really?
I think so.
You're telling me that they have Johnny Eblen now ranked above Sean Strickland?
I think so.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I'd like to see it.
I would like to see it too. Let me see if I can pull this up because this is gonna bug me now. Because I felt like I felt like I saw it somewhere, but I could be completely wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Dun, dun, dun. Let me add. Let's see. Okay, so for middleweight.
Yep.
I can see why Dave does this shit.
Our rudder, it's gone.
But let's pick out some other guys. Who else would be in that top 3 or 4? Look, you've got obviously Chris Cyborg is going to be there. Kayla Harrison is going to be there. They're going to be in the top, but that weight class is no longer around.
Well, there's
UFC.
Hold on. First off, when Amanda Nunes retired, there's no 145.
Yeah.
In the UFC, that's done. So the best 145 pound female fighter out there is between 2. Truthfully, it's not even between Kayla, because Kayla is really a 155 pound fighter. She's the best 155 pound fighter if you want, or Larissa Pacheco is. But Larissa has been fighting at 145. Chris is fighting at 145. Those are your 2 that are going to be your best 145 pound fighters in the women's division. So yeah, they have that. But I was just talking about the men's divisions. I wasn't talking about women's.
Got it.
Overall, the women's divisions, they're kind of split here because PFL is going to have all the 145ers. UFC doesn't have any. 135, PFL doesn't have any. Bellator doesn't have any. 125, now you're talking the PFL now has 125ers that are from, Bellator, and the UFC's got some great 125ers. And it's a matter of, are they going to open up a 115-pound strawweight? They have some fighters there.
Yeah, they do. See, there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, like in these things. So I'm excited for these fighters. I'm not able to pull it up, and I'm actually horrible at searching the web. So
don't worry about it.
Well, here on, I think it's the ranking. Was it rankingmma.com? They've got Johnny at number 10.
They got him at number 10. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, they've got wow. I'm going to look it up more, but I swear I thought I saw him as number 1 in one spot, but I could be wrong. Let me see this. This is going to bug me now. Let's see.
How about if you look at USA Today's rankings on them?
There we go. Let's see this one. Oh, Johnny Eblen for MMA fighting is number 5. Would you say USA Today?
Yeah, USA Today. Go ahead. You can just say MMA fight, but again, they have him at number 5.
Yeah.
And like I said, across the board, it's going to be UFC.
Which is so crazy because of how much hype he's been getting these days about him being potentially the best middleweight in the world.
Yeah.
Who knows? Let's see. There you go. God, it's so nice to have Dave.
all of a sudden, we are appreciating our podcast.
He's
Dave.
all right. Let's not get ahead.
We miss you, Dave.
What's this we stuff? You go ahead and miss his ass. No. Where they got him at? Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun.
Just go across the board. So at 125, they're going to have. At 125, they've got to have Pantoja. At 135, they're going to have Sean O'Malley. At 145, they're going to have Volkanovski. At 155, they're going to have Makhachev.
Mm-hmm.
At 170, they're going to have Edwards. At 185, they're going to have Sean Strickland. At 205, it's now going to be Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And at heavyweight, it's going to be and maybe Aspinall, maybe John Jones mixed in there based upon whatever they're doing with.
There's a lot of heat going on right now with that.
Well,
there's a lot of back and forth with all that.
Henry Cejudo's all in there, man. He's talking about it. He's blasting DC.
Oh man, I just got an update from Dave. They have to go straight to the ER. So,
oh my God,
I know, poor guy. So they went to urgent care. Urgent care is like, we're not touching that. So much for it being urgent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at all this and I'm thinking to myself, there's so many things that could be that are good here. 30% of the roster. I look at certain fighters. Look, I think Amosov is one of those guys, even though he just lost and he lost bad to Jason Jackson. Yeah. Styles make matchups. But I put guys like him against someone like Leon Edwards, and I've trained with Leon. I got a lot of respect for Leon. I think he gives Leon a hard time. I think he gives Colby Covington a hard time. I think he gives Kamaru Usman a hard time. Jason Jackson trains with Kamaru Usman, trains with Gilbert Burns, trains with Shavkat, trains with Ian McGarry. Is it McGarry? Ian Gary. Ian Gary Machado. He trains with all of them. He knows where he's at. Tells us kind of he knows where he's at. And so I know that's a fighter's perspective, but that lets you know kind of where he's at in that mix. He's not saying it to boast. He's just saying like, look, I respect all these guys, but I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I look at the 135 champ. Off the tip of my tongue.
Sean
O'Malley. No, but Patchy Mix.
Patchy.
You got Patchy, you got Sergio, you got Stotts, and you've got Sabatello. Those four guys right there.
You got Magomed.
You got Magomed. You got Juan Archuleta. Juan Archuleta's the rising champion.
That's right.
He's no slouch, man. The guy can fight. He can fight everywhere. He can wrestle and he can fight. I mean, it's a very dangerous weight. That to me is, like we've said this multiple times, that weight class is the most stacked weight class in the sport, hands down.
Yep.
And you get great fights every time they step in there. Absolute fantastic fights. I would match all those guys up, especially in those divisions. I put Johnny Edwards division, I put the welterweight division, and I put the bantamweight division. I'd put the Bellator all those divisions against the UFC division any day. I'd struggle a little bit more with the 145 pounders. I'd struggle a little bit more with the 155 pounders. And the only reason why I'd struggle a little bit with the 155 pounders is I wouldn't struggle too much. It just wouldn't be as deep. I'd give the top three or four guys, four guys, they would mix in there really well. But then you get past 4 and 5, it's just those guys too at the top 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those guys could give all the Bellator guys a run for their money, and those other guys. Yeah. So it just makes for so many good fights that could potentially come about. But I also look at the guys at 155, right? So who's at 55 for the PFL?
Right now, you're looking at OAM is your top guy, and Clay Collard. Those are the two that are in the finals. And you had Sugar Shane Burroughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shane Burroughs was at 155. I think he's going to stay at 155 as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go back.
Burgos is he's a stud. He's a great fighter. Other than that, as far as top-notch guys, they have the young kid Nishiyama, I want to say, from Japan. He's good, but he's too small.
Yeah, he's tiny.
Who else?
I mean, because you got Movlid, Bubba, Chris Wade. They're all at 45.
Those are 145.
45 pounders, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's fights to be had there, man. There's fights to be had there. So because Bubba came from Bellator, Bubba Jenkins, Chris Wade from the
Yeah.
UFC. You know, and they've had some good battles back and forth. But I look at guys like Aaron Pico, Jeremy Kennedy. I mean, you've got Adam Boric. Let's not forget about him because he's been out for so long because he's been rehabbing his knee surgery. You got Mads Burnell, who is definitely a fantastic fighter. He got a shit end of the stick from the UFC. They kind of fucked him and burned him. So then he, you know, he's had a good little run in Bellator. He's had some ups and downs. You know,
but
he can
he's
fight.
really come into his own as he can fight everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about him.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that flavors up that whole 145-pound division in that tournament. And guys like him, I could see him going in there. I could see, you know, I could also see Aaron Pico going, I don't know if I want to do a tournament. I think I really just want to focus on you know, doing this. Aaron Pico's very driven off of, I'm going to focus on one guy. I'm going to spend my time preparing for him. I'm going to make it happen. It's turn around 4 months later. I'm going to focus on one guy. I'm going to make this shit happen. I see that about him. Other guys like Mads Burnell, they train all the time. They don't I don't train for the opponent. I train for just me being me. I could see him going in there and fighting tournament style, having a chance to make that $1 million.